Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you may be tuning in from. Thanks for joining. I'm Stef Pazzo, alongside Noot Brinkworth, my usual partner in crime, to bring you the action, what's good, what's happening in the world of Ultimate. It's our evening. I did say good morning, Noah, and we'll get to our guest in just a moment, but how the hell are you doing over there? It's hoodie season, it seems.
It is hoodie season. I got my deep dish hoodie on back from Portimao, from World Beach and the like, and from CFC. Stef, we did our CFC wrap up last week, and thanks to Benji Reese for taking the injury sub there and joining us. We could discuss that. We also had Greenie and Maehr on talking about Australia Nats. Stef, I see in your background you got a little bouquet of flowers there. I don't know if that's quite visible. Yeah.
It is.
Tell me about that.
A lovely bouquet. My friend Camille, a friend I met, good friends of Bo Kittredge, but I came home after my birthday and I got a extended birthday, and I was given those at dinner and had made a deal that I would keep them with me all night. And they made it home, which was a heck of a feat, I thought. So yes, it's extended celebrations. Maybe part of the reason I wasn't there last week, but glad Benji could fill in. I was worried he was going to chuck me under the bus for some of my follies, but he was a good boy. Love Mr. Benji Reese. But enough about Benji today and more about the man from the long white cloud. We're moving over to Wellington. It's 6 a.m. or some crazy crap like that, but we've got him out of bed. Welcome to the show, Nicholas Whitlock. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. Thanks for having me, Stef.
Yeah, a pleasure to have you on. How's the weather out there? It's summertime out in Kiwi land, is that right?
Sun's just starting to peek out, and we got our first day of proper summer yesterday down in Wellington. The rest of the country's been hot as recently, but Wellington's known for its wind and cold, so we get a few days a year and we love them.
Take the heat when you get it.
Yeah.
You've been busy enough. I know you jump on either side of the strait there when you can and get some Aussie Nats in, you get some Kiwi Nats in. Both have kind of happened. Really all four when you consider Division 2s in both. But I think we're gonna stick in with Kiwi Nats, NZMUC, New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships. I don't know. Why do you set the stage a bit for us? How many teams go there? Where was it? Who was defending champs? Give us a little bit of that first, and then we'll cut into how it all went.
I can definitely do that for you. So New Zealand Mixed Nats, 12 teams, 2 pools of 6. After a few months of qualifying rounds, we have 3 regions in New Zealand: Central, North, and Southern. The teams I play for qualify through Central, but each region gets a certain number of bids to nationals, and then whoever doesn't qualify either goes to Div 2 or hangs up the boots for the season.
And there are teams that, how many go to Div 2? There's my next question, I guess.
I think
is
we
that
had
the
20,
same size, or is it bigger?
25, 26 at Div 2 is bigger, yeah.
Okay, wow. So
That's awesome.
Similar style to the way Australia does their mixed season. They get
quite
a
similar.
way bigger Div 2 and a more elite competitive Div 1. There was a point in time, and maybe it was only open and mixed, but are there ever Australian teams invited or able to qualify for NZ Nats?
Correct. So we reserve 1 bid for the Australians, and they do the same for us if we want it.
Okay,
There's
Anzac
not a team
treaty.
that wants to go every time, but yeah, effectively.
Effectively, the Anzac. Okay, so how did this one? I guess I know how you did. You've got a silver medal. So you
My
got
second
to
for
the
the
big
month.
dance. Why don't we start there? Let's start with the final. It was Marvelous DC versus Big, which Big is your
Correct.
team. Where's Marvelous DC from?
We're both from Wellington, so we're very
so
familiar with each other.
Okay, so a familiar game must have been highly spirited and lots of love out there. No room for any contention, or am I wrong there?
There was a little bit of contention, but it wasn't until right at the end of the game. I think for the most part, it was a very, very highly spirited, well energized game for sure. Yeah.
So it went to Universe Point.
It did.
And this is the second year in a row for DC to defend their title. Is that right as well?
I think it might be the third year in the row for them actually.
Okay.
They've won it. They've won it a fair few times since they started in 2011, 2012. They started after under 24s way back when, and they've kind of evolved since then. We started in 2023 and have kind of been evolving since then as well. Yeah.
Your team. This is big.
Correct. Yeah.
And so, I mean, is this a classic case of two teams that they both rise to the top. They come from the same city. Like, was there any integration of DC and a split off to make big, or was it just two kind of different club groups that had two different ideas on making teams?
It was. There's been some players move back and forth, but it wasn't a split off at all. No, it was myself and a couple others moved from other cities to Wellington, and we played on another club who used to exist in Wellington called Huripari, which means hurricane in our native te reo. And then from that team, big split off of that team, which was the other club in Wellington 4 years ago. And yeah, so we get a lot of matchups between us and MDC. I think throughout the season we are plus 4 or 5 points difference throughout our various scrimmages and points and games and stuff. They've won the 2 games that matter, that being the qualification final and the nationals final, and we've won pretty much everything else. So we would love to get the important one, but we knew going into the event that it would be tight. The pool play game that we had between us and them went to Universe as well, and we ended up winning that one. So at Nationals itself, it was a neutral 0 across the board points difference between us and Mavs. So we need a third tiebreaker, personally. But
as close as you can slice them. I mean, you'll take the tiebreaker. I'm pretty sure they're happy with just winning the right one there at the end.
So.
But the semis, okay, so you guys obviously played tight. Like, what is the whole level of competition like at NZ Mixed? Like, do semis get pretty tight, or do you have easy games at NZ Mixed, or is it pretty tight throughout?
As someone in a leadership position on my team, I hate to say we have easy games. Don't want to have people let up their guard, but yeah, there are definitely games that you go into knowing that you're going to win. I think it starts getting a bit iffy about that confidence level round quarters, semis, depending on your team. I think going into the event, everyone knew that if it wasn't us and MDC in the final, something's gone wrong. Like, there were chances for upsets, but that was kind of who everyone was picking from the start. This year, actually, we played 2 pools of 6, and all 4 quarterfinalists from Pool A were the 4 semi-finalists, which was very interesting. Going into the event, people were like, how come those people are in the same pool as these people? These don't feel balanced at all. So yeah.
Seeding's always
Pool A made the
Pool
way
A
through.
was all semis. Seeding's difficult, but you said there is qualifying systems. Does it just go on like how people qualify in last year's results?
Yeah, so it's qualification of your region and then the region placing for the previous year.
Okay.
Is kind of how it carries through.
Right, so it can get skewed. Noah?
So Nick, for the people who didn't watch the game, we've already alluded to there being some contentious bids in Universe Point, and you said there wasn't quite a rivalry. I wonder if after this there's going to
It's
be more of
definitely
a hot rivalry.
It's
right
definitely
now.
a rivalry.
Talk us through how that point went, who started on offense, the calls that were made, resolutions, all that kind of stuff.
So I think we were down 14-12 at the end of the game and howled and broke to take it to Universe. So we were starting on defense, coming out on Universe point. Throughout the pool, played some pretty good containment defense, kept them away from the red zone for quite a long time. And then the first time they reached up to the brick mark, I was on the mark of some famous Aaron Neal, next gen extraordinaire from back in the day.
Aaron Neal's still doing it.
So I think I get him up to stall 8 or 9 before he throws a round backhand that I lay out and swear I get the tiniest piece on, but couldn't guarantee that. Pops up and our 17-year-old extraordinaire Ben Kubro makes what I deem to be a very good block. But a foul gets called and the contest goes back. I watched the footage live and along with a couple others, and we all thought it was clean, but sometimes you feel something on the field. So like I can forgive that. Like it happens. It's just not. It would have been nice for it to be a clean loss rather than this what if call loss. You know.
So it did.
And we didn't get a chance to play offense on Universe point, which would have been nice.
That was where I was asking. It was a clean hold in the end.
It was.
But there was a block that was taken back.
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit of a sting there. I can feel it on your behalf.
Yeah. A couple of us were screaming "Vive la France" at the end, referencing recent events as well, which was good.
Nice sting, very international.
Yeah. But yeah, after that foul, it goes a bit blurry. I can't remember exactly how they score, but I think we hold them out of the red zone for a little bit longer, and then they get lateral pass into the zone.
Well, you're lucky you got it. You're lucky they got the around backhand out at 8 and it wasn't a contested stall out because, I mean, that's been kicking off over here in Europe.
Yeah, those haven't been going so well.
So, I mean, I don't want to rub it in, Nick, but I think that means that Marvelous DC have taken New Zealand's mixed WUC bid. I don't know if that was a bid you guys were vying for big, and I know you have also been playing with Southern Skies over in Australia. There's obviously the open division in both countries as well. There's obviously, for you personally, I think after your super team performance this year and other performances at other championships, like at the Gold Coast, I think there's tournaments all around the world that are going to be looking to pick up a talent like that. So talk to me about the teams you're playing on, their WUC chances, and what you're thinking for yourself.
Have you made a decision? Or are you still being shopped around?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Then
I've definitely made a decision. So
Podcast
neither Big Ultimate Club nor Wildcats were... Sorry, not Wildcats. That's slip of the tongue. Might lead you where I'm going. Neither MDC nor Big were vying for a WUC spot in the mixed division.
Okay.
New Zealand. I should really know this. We have 2 opens bids, 1 women's bid, and I think we got a mixed bid, but I don't think anyone's taking it, is my understanding at present. Australia is, I think, a bit frustrated at us because of the kerfuffle there. We got 2 open bids and they only got 1, which is the first time it's been that way around in terms of quantity. So that's really exciting for us because we get to have some... Yeah, we get some internal rivalry within the country leading up to WUC, which we're really excited to make the most of. So yeah, I'm playing for Wildcats at WUC, the Opens club out of Wellington. To touch on Southern Skies briefly before I talk about that, though, I got asked to go over and effectively pick up for them at Nationals by Charles Patterson, who I've played a lot with, and he's moved to Sydney. So he was like, come play. So I went and played, and it was a great time. We made it to the final and got another silver medal there about a month ago now. So got two.
Is that the Charles
two
Patterson who
2025.
made the big layout grab on the hammer?
Charles
Am I
Patterson
thinking-
hammer catcher,
Yeah,
indeed.
that was
Indeed, no,
Whitlock's
that's
hammer
the
to
one.
Patterson in the back of the end zone. Opening game, WC, you're on it,
Yeah.
Noah.
Awesome highlight. Awesome highlight.
That's what we play for, right? No.
How do you
Any coaches select
compare-
that's not what we play for.
I mean, I want to know more about 2026 Wildcats, but I also want to know a comparison. But let's stay with your choice. You also played Sunder in the Open Australian Championships. Was that feasibly a potential WCC option as well?
Yeah, so at Australia Ultimate Championship, so like single gender, at the beginning of the year, I played for Wildcats. We went over and took the New Zealand bid in Australia. But I did play Sunder in the past when New Zealand hasn't sent a team over. And I've played Ellipsis at the previous WOC over in Australia. So I have my feelers out over in Australia, and then I played for Sunder at Asia Oceanic Ultimate Championships where we got bronze.
Yes, that's where I last saw you in Sunder.
Yeah,
Right.
so I played for Sunder there, and yep, they were fighting pretty hard to convince me to hop across. They convinced one of my close friends, who's a very good player, Andy Fitzpatrick, to go play Sunder as well. So that's happening, and Wildcats have lost him, which is a big loss for us, unfortunately. But it's generating this kind of environment where East Coast Australia and New Zealand have kind of this mix of the gene pool, and we're learning from each other and pushing each other to be better. It's pretty cool over the last 18 months to a couple of years. It's been good.
And you, as far as Wildcats teams go, they put some great teams out in the past. Do you back the potential on this roster? Obviously, you made your decision to go there. There's some hometown gravity towards a decision like that, I'd imagine. But when you look up and down the roster, is it a team you believe will be able to compete? Will be able to play neck and shoulders with a team like Sunder?
I definitely think so. We've got a bunch of finalizing of those last 4 or 5 spots to go, whether we want to go local or international to bolster the top end. We're kind of
Go
having those
international.
conversations at present. But yeah, I really wanted to stick to my roots and play Cats this time around, help bolster the New Zealand ecosystem. I think the other New Zealand squad that's going over to WOC is called Otakaro. They're out of Christchurch, South Island. And it's going to mean we're going to get a lot of we're going to combine a couple of training camps, do some fundraising events together, and have some showcase games, and at Nationals we'll have that rivalry. Hopefully we'll see them in the final, given where the two teams go to Worlds. But who knows? It's going to be a fun season New Zealand wide. In terms of how we'll go at WOC, that's to be seen. It's going to depend on how the season goes. But we've got a lot of talent. We've got some youth. I'm excited. Yeah.
Very good stuff. And then touch on being somebody who plays both. I would imagine you get a little bit more parity between the Australian mixed Ultimate Championship, maybe a few more that could vie for the title than just the top two. But if you do compare apples to apples, like the top two teams in Australia, top two teams in New Zealand, how do you shake that out? Who wins that battle if they get to play one game? A DC versus Crank, or a Big versus Skies, or any iteration of those 4 that are all 1 point apart, essentially.
I think it's a very interesting question, Stef. I've thought about it, and I don't have a definitive answer for you. But I think what makes it interesting is, obviously we have different styles, but Big and MDC are quite similar when you step back and look at it from far back, whereas the style we played on Southern Skies and Crank have 2 independent styles from each other, and then very different from ourselves and MDC. So whereas us and MDC are going to be tight effectively no matter the caliber of the individual game and like how clean it is. I think it's really hard to tell how it would go going across the Aussie. I think it would be a tight matchup. However it went, if Crank played like they did in the final, I think Crank takes it across the board. But I think that Big has the best chance there of applying defensive pressure, whereas I think Marv's O-line would have been able to score very comfortably against a Crank style defense. So it's hard to weigh up all these things, but it'll be close. That's what I'll say. It'll be very tight.
I think that's a good assessment of it all there. I wouldn't expect it to be too dramatically one-sided, I don't think, but great to get some speculation on it. Let's you're going into 2026. You've talked about WCC. You're going to go with the Wildcats. In a world where there was feasibly another Tokai super team happening, I know that you had a great experience. I was really happy to have you on board. If there was a New Zealand player that would maybe be a second member on the team, who would you nominate for that role? Obviously it can be either MMP or FMP, but
I will say I told her I'd reach out next year if it happened again and let you know. So I have an answer off the top of my head.
Okay, well let's get that.
Her name is Zaria Ireland.
That's who I have as well. She was so good in the final. Oh my god. She's
an incredible player.
And she plays for Big.
No, she plays for
DC.
She played for MDC this year, yes.
Okay.
She's originally from Auckland, has been living in New Plymouth recently, so they don't really have an elite team. So she came down and played at MDC, which might have been the tip of the balance. But she's very good.
If you look at like Gold Coast stats as well, she like
player.
piled up the stats for the New Zealand women's team there. Yeah.
All right. Good.
She will make the most ridiculous bids you'll ever see. The only other person I've ever seen get blocks like she does is Manuela.
Right. Who is as we all know.
We all know, gets some crazy blocks.
Without, anytime you turn your computer screen on, it seems like there's a new one. So awesome. That's a great comparison. Yeah. I'd love to know. Last thing, we were all in, Noah and I were in Portugal, World Championships of Beach. Not the strongest representation by the Kiwis. Was there any representation by the Kiwis? There was
I don't think there was.
Was there any teams, Noah? How does this happen? What is the state of beach ultimate in New Zealand, and why is it not on the radar for World Championship? Is there anything about it, or does this slip through the cracks or something?
I think it's a multitude of things. I think we don't really play beach competitively. There's this social event that Big actually started at that I like to endearingly call Beach Nationals, even though it's like a social, send your own team, party Saturday night event, but it's the only beach tournament in the country that's not a hat tournament. So it's the most competitive out of all of them. So I endearingly call that Beach Nationals, and Big is 3-time, 4-time reigning champs with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we need Big to just put the
we considered trying to send a team to beach clubs, and New Zealand tried to get interest to go to Portugal this year, but I think it comes down to the number of people we have at the caliber to actually be competitive, and it's so far away. Portugal's literally as far away from New Zealand as you can get on the globe. So it's not a cheap place to get to, I think, is the kicker, as well as the elite, the number of elite players in New Zealand, kind of tournaments are vying for their time. And with last year having WOC, a lot of people going to AOUC this year, and then next year being the other WOC, it kind of takes people's time, and I think that's the thing that makes the difference at the end. I think we would have loved to send a team. I personally would have loved to play, but it's a money and time decision, as well as if you don't have the squad that you can believe in, it's harder to get people to commit that time and money, and downward spiral. But
Yeah,
I
nobody
think going
wants to
forward,
commit to a chance to get 20th.
yes,
Still
I think
time, still time to put in a bid and try and host 2027. It's a good way to get people to come.
Yeah,
Make people
sure.
come to you.
It's true.
There's
It's
gotta be
true.
some good
but then we have 5 people show up to the event for Worlds, and it's the problem, but in the other direction,
And then
right?
you get the finger pointed back at you. Why
Yeah.
would we come to all the way to New Zealand?
Sounds like an easy medal.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I mean, I think that's awesome. No, you got any last questions for the big fella?
No, I think that's an awesome place to leave it. Thanks so much for joining us, Nick.
Yeah,
And
bloody
we'll see you
legend.
next
Of course.
year in the islands, if not before.
Yeah, we'll hope.
Yeah, I'll be around for sure. I can't say much more than that, but you'll see me.
All right, that's good. That's something very interesting. He'll be around. He's coming to Europe. There must be something. I'll keep my ear to the ground. I'll find things out when I need to. Awesome, but thank you very much for getting up early and out of bed. You should have a good head start on the day now, so we're going to let you get to it. Thank you very much for joining, Nicholas Whitlock, all the way from Wellington.
Thanks, Stef. Thanks, Noah.
Cheers. And with Whitlock all ready to go start his day, Noah, I think it's a good time we take a little short break here too. We'll come back and we've got more to touch on. We got an interview with Mikey Lunn. We're going to put on, talk a little bit about PAUC and, little odds and ends to go along with it. So we'll take a break here and we'll be right back.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Alti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Oh my goodness! That is unbelievable! And traded to Stef and made for it!
That was absolutely incredible.
And we're back. Great to hear from the big Kiwi. We've seen him highlighting our screens a whole bunch over the last year. In particular, maybe his best year on record that he's had, I'd say, for Whitlock, and justifiably getting a lot of attention. So we'll keep our eye on what happens with him. No, we talked a little bit about CFC. You did primarily with Benji. We haven't really touched on PAUC, but Mikey and I had a chat, and we kind of talked a little bit about PAUC, PAUC, and a little bit more of CFC because of his foreign perspective to it. So I think let's run the tape. Let's listen into mine and Mikey's chat, and then when we're back, you and I can kind of talk about the tail end of PAUC and how it finished, because this tape we shot was really right in the middle of the tournament. So let's roll the tape, Grabco, and we'll be back live. We're always live, but live right after this segment. We're here to talk about PAUC, PAUC, where it's at right now. This is like a late week before. It's Friday. It's semifinals day. It's pre-semifinals day for PAUC. And then we talked, like Noah and Benji were on the show last week, and they talked a whole lot about CFC. But I think we could talk a bit more about it. And I just want like perspective from an American to see what, Mikey's thoughts are about a tournament like CFC, because it is, well, all I know is it's wildly different than anything that's really happening in the US right now. That much I think I can say. So let's start with CFC, Mikey.
Yeah.
Run us through like all things. I guess a bit of competition, a bit of vibes, culture, a little bit internal team, but mostly like globally. Like, what is this tournament all about for you after your first visit?
It reminds me of my roots, of Frisbee roots, really. I mentioned it in a previous conversation. There's a familial feel to it that we're just kind of missing in the U.S. now. It's kind of dead. That part of Frisbee is most of it is dead in the U.S., which is kind of sad. So it was a really refreshing reminder of what Frisbee can be and what used to be about a little bit more so. I guess put simply that the grassroots nature and the mom and pop feel of it is really hit home.
Well intact still at CFC.
Yeah. Whereas like back home, everything that we do is the seasons start early with the pro seasons in both men's and women's, and then it's just sterile triple crown tournament. It's like PEC, ESC, US Open Pro Champs, and it's all business all the time, and there's not really much time to just really enjoy the community and honestly get to know other teams. I've gotten to know other teams from other avenues, but not through playing Frisbee anymore.
Not at tournaments.
Not really. You know who they are and that they're your opponent, but we don't really get to interact with them.
And so this tournament, you felt you got a lot more of that, both with your own team and with opponents.
Yeah. There's something about the vibe that makes you bond much quicker. I think you party together, and it forms that tie so much quicker than I'm used to at home. Not to say that I don't have amazing lifelong relationships from my teams at home, but it's so much different.
What about the competition level? This year, I will say, was higher than most of the last 2 years anyways, but only slightly. Like it's competition level that I think for a tournament, as you described, that is familial and does hang on to a lot of old school tradition of Ultimate. How did you see the level of competition? We played 9 games?
Really?
Across 3 games? No,
1, 2, 3.
3, 3, 2. 8 games, yeah.
Okay. High level players making big plays for sure. Yeah, the athleticism was there, and yeah, it was kind of cool to see different styles. I think that's you're more typical of beach too. Like back home, everybody's on grass and everybody is kind of doing the same thing. Nobody's scheming much, but the competition level was high, there were definitely elite players doing elite things.
And then the externals, the parties and the rums, the mojitos, I guess that maybe makes up some of what you're talking about of the family vibe, but it is kind of like a little sector of its own, really.
It's maybe even more elite partying than elite playing. While we were still at the beach during the tournament hours, part of the familial feeling of it is that there are kids around enjoying everything, and that it's a safe environment for everybody. And again, in the U.S., you're not going to see kids around that much alcohol. I'll be honest. And I really appreciate the nature of because I just feel like in the U.S. everything is if it's not completely safe if you're not buckled in and you're the helicopter parent around you, then it's evil and bad. So it's kind of nice to be it's okay, we can have
fun. Not that bad.
It's I described it as felt like a family feast.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving was in the U.S. was a couple weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and it kind of felt like Thanksgiving in the Canary Islands.
Yeah, except with much better weather than really anywhere on mainland USA, and a beautiful volcanic beach. So it was awesome. I think it's nice to get perspective from what was definitely probably a record of American participation in CFC this year. Because of WBUC, it was easy for so many to migrate or to finish the migration. But yes, thank you for your perspective. Mikey, we've been looking at the website. There's no streams, or there are some static streams that we haven't really dug into. We might, now that it's semis day and finals day, but let's get through these. We're in the brackets now, so we can look at a couple of the records and seedings, but mixed first, we're down to semifinals. I'll be honest. There's probably like 4 or 5 teams that I know by team name in each division. When you break it down, there's a couple of these like, Mickael in the mixed and Blue Devils in the open. It's like, okay, you're learning to know them by team name now because there's a couple years of them stacking. But what do we got here in mixed for semis?
We got 2 American teams on opposite side of the bracket. My local team, Mile High Trash, is playing our friend Kayla
And some others. Mickael, that's like a pickup Dominican team. It's like a home team represent, and they do a bit of stacking to get it started. They've lost 1 game. I think Mile High Trash have gone through undefeated, so you got to give Mile High the advantage. But yeah, they both smashed through their quarters with 10 and 8-point wins. Other side of the bracket, Lawless.
also a U.S. mixed team.
Yeah, that we're at nationals. They'll be good. Taking on Toba. Do you think Toby's on that? Toba de Carana?
We could look.
There's no way he's
I'd
on
be
it.
surprised.
No, if he's not in the top 3, Adam Turcotte. Okay, I know a couple of the names.
Oh,
But-
Fling, I know her.
A Canadian squad. Okay, so they'll have their hands full with Lawless. Any predictions for the final? Let's give a prediction.
I can't pick against Trash, but I want to root for Kayla. But I'm gonna go with the two U.S.
So I'm gonna go Lawless versus Mickael. I'll pick Kayla for you, and I can pick against Trash. So.
Yeah, you can. And I can't.
Okay, cool. Let's flip over to Open. See what we got there. We're in semis as well. So Blue Devils have advanced. They beat Club and Manic. Evolution have advanced. They beat Wadao and on Universe. And Wadao's got a little bit of stacking over there too. They got Kai Creed and who else was it?
They have a few Denverites. They have Noah Kuhlman.
Yeah,
Seth
Kuhlman.
Ferris, Sandy Brown, Rodriguez.
So that looked like a hell battle. Ottawa Phoenix gets through. I know Marty Gallant playing over there. And Halifax Red Circus. So a bunch of Canadians. 1 Canadian team will definitely be in the final. You get a favorite of these 4 thus far?
I mean, the Don Desmarais, because somehow he's also just smashing the stats.
Go check the stats again in this division because it's madness how far he's only 1 ahead of the second place person, but he is on a pickup team where he doesn't know anybody. He's never played, but he's still got 18 assists and 13 goals.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're averaging 5 or more scores a game, it's just crazy.
Man, dude can't be stopped right now. So, I mean, I'm not going to bet against Don either. Who will he play in the final? I'll say Ottawa Phoenix because that's a team I know well from days of old. They used to be Wax, and then they had a great Masters team called Wax Museum before Ottawa turned to Phoenix. And then let's go check out the women's. Let's be nice and brief here. I think Noah and I may expand on this after the segment. So, they play quarters still today, so they're like a round behind. But the number 1 seed is probably where all eyes are on. Like my opinion, and maybe yours too. Am I putting words in your mouth? Top 3 FMPs in the world on one team, potentially.
With the Manu, Vale, and Claire?
Yeah. There's a pretty big argument, a pretty good argument to say that 3 of
the best 5 at least.
Yeah. So you got Trope, Manu. Vale is pretty... Where's Vale? She's way down on the stat sheet.
Surprised she doesn't have some more assists.
Yeah. Trope is leading. Howard Diop, Anya from Moon Cup is smashing it. 12 with 5 assists and 7 goals.
Let's go, Moon.
So, I mean, I'm going to see this team through to the... Ophélie Gavillet is there. Top 6, 7 on the stats as well. So, yeah, Makana putting in some external pieces, making them work. Manu, 0 goals.
That's kind of crazy.
I know, 14 assists. She's just running the show from the backfield.
I guess so.
Wow.
Or maybe the stat keeper can't tell the difference between Manu and Vale and just giving all the assists.
No, it's impossible. They're too distinguishable nowadays.
Yeah, they are.
Back in the day, I could have believed it, but now, no. Okay, so any of these other teams? Okay, Revolution, we obviously know about. Ex-champs. Revolution Pro. They're called now. They're going to be good. They've got Mosquera's back and playing, and Cartagena, Montaña. Cartagena at the top of the list. Jimena Montaña third, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like that's the path, that those two are going to meet, and it's going to be like a replay of what what Revo hoped Columbia Nationals was going to be. Aerosol ended up getting to the finals of Columbia Nationals, not Revo.
Is that right?
And Mickael won it. But, yeah.
They seem to be on a collision course.
It does. They're either side of the bracket. Fuerza Natural, Salty, Venado Azul, Siege, and Condor Ultimate Women's. Those are the others that are still in it. Prove us wrong. Let's see if you can do anything about it. That's probably it, Mikey. We'll have a touch on that. We'll go back with Noah and I and see how this has worked itself out. It's probably about 5 days later since Mikey and I record this, so thanks for staying locked in. Make sure you get on the pod practice, too.
There he is, Mikey Love, as he's known. And if you're not familiar with him for all his successes on the field, on sidelines, as bench boss, as a coach for so many, then surely you're familiar with him for the great work he does on pod practice. And if you're not, make sure you're watching and listening to that man over there, too. Noah, Mikey and I kind of set him up. Let's knock him down here. We know the results now, how PAUC finished up. Wild tournament. Like, it's, I mean, for a woofed of Geo tournament, there's a whole lot of cups going on. There's a whole lot of roster bolstering going on over in Dominican. Seems across the board. Let's start in the mixed division, Noah. Why don't you walk us through the last day of the bracket there, and we'll take it from there.
I mean, yeah, if you look at the bracket, the story is that Mile High Trash were pretty awesome. They won their semi-final against
Mickael.
Mickael, 15-7. And then in the final they took on Toba, or Tobe, I don't know exactly how to say that, Stef. And they
I think
won
that
15-10 there.
because of the Krana, those four letters have now become Toba in
Toba.
Belgium, where otherwise it would be probably Tobe. But who knows?
I mean, but they did well to get past Lawless in the semi-final, Toba. Who, I mean, it shows that you can't just be a decent American team and show up and expect to win. Like, this is a Lawless team that, to be fair, doesn't have all of the pieces they might have had at US Club Nationals, but still were handled by the Canadians and were beaten earlier in the tournament as well. Mickael had some pickups, Steph. You can talk about that, but they weren't able to get past Mile High Trash.
No, Kayla Helton, obviously we get to spend time with her CFC. She was on the LTTV team. She had high hopes going into this trio of tournaments of potentially being able to win them all. She did get the quarters monkey off of her back here, which, kicked her butt in Portimao and Lanzarote. So, yeah, they make it through. Caitlin Weaver on that team, Matt Miller. Like, this is a Dominican team, but there's a whole lot of American names on that team. They actually went on and had a cracker of a game for the bronze against Lawless. Universe Point, I did see a sideline cam of the Universe Point. They seemed to just work it the whole way down one line and finally put it in the middle when they got into the red zone. But that looked like it was a good game, well engaged, a lot of noise and action from the sidelines. So from what we can see of these games, that was a good one. And Mickael get the bronze, Tobe take the silver, and champions in the mixed were the Americans from Denver, Mile High Trash. Let's have a look at the women's division. Mikey and I were saying it seems like Makana and Revolution are on a crash course to meet one another. They did, but that Makana roster, Noah, is something else, isn't it? Like, they were just way better. And I mean, you talk about when you have the GOAT conversation, when you have the best in the world conversation in the FMP conversation, there's two or three that often come up, and when they're all the same team, it almost seems like it isn't fair sometimes. But
Yeah.
having Manu, Vale, and Claire Trope joining was maybe a big reason why Makana got out and won it, but it was not just them. There's a couple others that were maybe not regular Medellin players also.
Yeah, I mean, I blame you, Stef, is what I'm gonna say, because you're the one who invited Claire Trope over. Well, facilitated Claire Trope coming over and playing with Bling in the spring. And and that's maybe where she made the connections with the Cardinal sisters. You can sort of draw the little path there. But yeah, there's more players from Europe as well. There's Ophelia Gavale from Switzerland and Howard Diop from Belgium. Whereas if you look at that Revolution side, it's a lot of the usual suspects with Jimena Montaña, Elizabeth Mosquera, and leading the stats for Revolution was Gina Cartagena. So you can look at the rosters and think that maybe favor Makana, but I mean, if you look at the way that Revolution carved through the tournament, I think that you could see them having a great chance. 15-10, 15-6, 15-7, 15-3, 15-6, 15-9, 13-10, 15-7 in the semi-final. So I thought that the final might be a little bit closer, but it's Makana who pull out the 15-8 win in the end.
Yeah, big win. We were also looking at the Makana stats, Noah, you and I, and you know, Claire Campney Trope. I love the whole word in there, the whole name in there, full use of the name. But, you know, then we're talking about these big three. Manu's third, I think Vale's fifth in the scoring. You know, whatever. They all obviously add different things. But there's Maria Camila Botero is 12 assists and 13 goals on a team this stat heavy. Manu, by the way, turned into Vale with 22 assists and 1 goal. That's a crazy stat line for Manu.
This kind of reminds me of like Toba going to America and becoming the assist leader in like the AUDL or in the UFA or something, right? It's like, oh, that's not what's supposed to be going on here. But
yeah, but it's kind of like, whoa, you can do it that way too. You can be effective and win doing it the other way. So cool to see Manu. But I am going to be keeping my eye out for this Maria Camila Botero to see what she's all about, because she definitely knows how to put stats on a board in a winning cause. So
it wasn't just in the easy games
enough
as well. 2 goals and 2 assists in the final. So I mean, like a strong performance from their depth, and I think that's something we're going to be really looking forward to as Makana move into WUC. I mean, will they get pickups? I'm almost certain they will. But will they get Claire Trope for WUC? Well, with Scandal qualifying, it would, I'd imagine that maybe not, Steph.
Yeah,
But there was another
maybe
American
not
team that didn't
too.
qualify.
Huh?
There was another American team that didn't qualify, who I wonder if there'll be some Makana pickups going that way.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of American teams that didn't qualify, Noah. So I would imagine that Vale and Manu, if I know them, and I do, they're doing their shopping. I'm sure they're putting themselves in their best position to have a strong chance for WCC with the Makana team. Let's talk about Open, the final division. A little bit tighter across the board. All semis were pretty tight. Blue Devils Evolution went Universe Point, which was the best game until the bronze medal game. Everything tight, but it was in the end the Blue Devils got big when it mattered. And this Dominican team beat Ottawa Phoenix, a Canadian team. Dominican team has some padding, and we talked about it a bit with Mikey, but you just can't not mention it again. The top of the stats is Don, and he pulled away as the tournament went on. 45 total stats, 27 assists, 18 goals in 8 games, 5.83 stats per game, or 6.3. Like, more than 5.5 a game is just absolute madness, but it's kind of what we come to expect. The other thing I noticed, the very top of the stats, in the open division, three of the top 4, first, third, and fourth, are all European players. You got Don, and then of course David Barzazzi, the Italian, playing for the Panamanian team Esparta, and Tony Dimne, the Frenchman, big bearded man, playing for Aguilas, the Mexican team. So pretty cool to see some European strongholds really showing up on the stat sheet and pulling their teams along.
Yeah, Steph, I'm going to take you back to that Blue Devils Evolution game, which, if we had have streamed this tournament, I would be telling you, go back and watch that game. Looks like an absolute banger, a 13-12 finish. A little bit disappointing for the Evolution team. They were super strong with World Games players like Simon Ramirez Ortiz and Andres Felipe Ramirez, who was right at the top of the stats board as well. He had 41 tournament stats, so a great tournament for him. And Manuel Candemil, who was the new World Gamer this year for Colombia. A name I just saw on this roster, Steph, in the Evolution roster, Mauricio Moore. What's up with
wow.
That? Yeah.
I did not know Mauricio was still doing it.
I didn't know.
On.
I wonder if that's someone with the same name, but it's probably just Mauricio playing, right? And
It's
2 assists and 1 goal. He got out there. Very nice to see.
Good for him. Not just a bench boss. He's still got it.
I think that top side of the bracket stuff was really tricky as well, because Evolution only got through by 1 on this World team that had Kai Creed of Instagram fame. Sorry, Kai, but it's true. And Noah Kuhlman, who is a huge defensive player for Johnny Bravo. But yeah, it just shows that this is.
Well, yeah, like all of them. Like you go the all quarter. Okay, Blue Devils got through their quarter with a bit of ease, but then Universe Point, Evolution were out. Win by 2, Phoenix over Mammoths. Win by 3, Red Circus over Hound. Like, just tight games, and then a 2-point difference and a 3-point difference in the semis. It wasn't until the final where Blue Devils really put their foot down and won a game convincingly.
Yeah, look, I've got to talk about Dan Desmarais in the same way you did. It's crazy stuff like this. He can't keep getting away with this. He just simply can't keep getting away with this.
Who's gonna stop him?
Have we seen anyone who can mark him? It's kind of doesn't work the same way in who can guard Dan conversations go in other sports, because Ultimate is so offensively biased that I think you have to have a truly remarkable defensive performance to take someone out of the game. Maybe the best example is Mickael, right, from Club Nationals 2025, where I think who's one of the other players who is in the conversation for best player in the world. We were talking to Simon Higgins at CFC, and he was his pick for the best player in the world, and I think that's a totally fair enough consideration. But I think it would be cool if this Blue Devils team is now 2 on the bounce for PAUC, and I would love if they keep getting better on the Dominican side, keep bringing the pickups, and then we see these American teams going over and giving them a little bit of a challenge too. And it doesn't need to be like the whole field, like Club Nationals level as well, but it's cool to see in the mixed division that we get Lawless out, and we get My High Trash out. It would be cool to get, a Chain Lightning out or a Double Wide out to spice up the field and give some American representation. I've got one more player to shout out, Steph, and it's in the Masters Open division. Mickael. Jonathan Cantor had 45 stats on the tournament.
Gee.
play. That is huge, and that was a really close loss in the final where Surly didn't quite. Surly took it away from Mickael in the final there for Masters Open.
The masked man, Batman, Cantor still doing it, getting Demiray like stats and with the old guys. No, this is something we'll have to talk about next week, and maybe we have some viewers who want to come on and talk to us about it. But oops, that just switched now. Sorry, I got that went back to Ulti Worlds. But ANUC, the All African Nations Ultimate Championship. There, I'm putting screens on screens. In Egypt next year, the first ever Nations Ultimate Championship in Africa. So if we've got some of our African viewers and fans, reach out to us. We want to know. We're into our off season. There's things happening in Australia, and there's always things happening Ultimate Worldwide, but we always want you to reach out. We've got lots to talk about, but your input makes it easier to implement even bits and pieces more between now and March. We'll have some exciting things to announce. We get some exciting things coming up over Christmas time that we're planning on doing on the Ulti TV channel, and some great releases. So keep your ear to the ground and keep us up to date with what you know is happening too, and make sure we're feeding the masses all of the ultimate stories.
I mean, on that exact point, Stef, we really want to know exactly what teams are going to WAC, and I know that information will be released sometime soon. But it would be great if there is a little spreadsheet going around of the teams that have qualified by William Brody Brotman on the UltiWorld Discord of Ultimate Reference fame. If your team isn't there, or if you know your team's written down but it isn't coming, maybe you know the team who isn't coming in your little location, we're going to put out some feelers as well. It would be super cool if we could have a really good gauge of these WAC teams. We keep talking about it in this podcast, and we can really start thinking about which team's going to be coming, who's going to be playing on them, bit of the transfer market going around for the international players stuff. It'll be awesome to see that coming up in 2026.
Yep. Good stuff, Noah. Thanks for the reminders. I'm really keen on seeing how it all shakes up. I've seen that same spreadsheet you're talking about, and it's getting things very excited. So much before then, so many stories, tournaments, and news will be coming your way. So make sure you stay locked on. Thank you for joining us once again. To our guests, Mikey Lund, and live from Wellington, Nick Whitlock. For my co-host, Noah Brinkworth, I've been Stef for Pazzo. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We'll catch y'all next time. All right, awesome, dudes. Let's. I think we're doing